Welcome to this quiet place and to this quiet hour. Before we begin, take a moment to settle. Find the shape of your body against whatever is holding you. The pillow, the mattress, the blanket folded just so. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. Let your hands rest wherever they wish to rest. There's nothing to do tonight, nothing to finish, nothing to remember. The day you have just lived is already behind you, and it does not need to be carried any further. You can set it down now, gently, the way you might set down a cup of tea that has gone just slightly too cool to drink. Breathe in slowly, and breathe out even more slowly. Again, if you like. In and out. You don't need to make the breath deeper than it wishes to be. You only need to notice it, the way you might notice a soft sound at the edge of a quiet room. Tonight, we are going somewhere far from here, somewhere small and warm and tucked away in a pocket of the outer system where the stars are slow and patient, and the dark between them is soft as folded cloth. We are going to a hollow comet, a comet that was emptied long ago and terraced and lined with amber light and planted with quiet trees. It drifts on its long orbit, this comet. It turns once every great while, and inside it is an orchard. And inside that orchard, there's a kitchen. And inside that kitchen, there's a confectioner who works without hurry, because there is no hurry to be had. You are going to spend an evening there. You will walk between the orchard rows. You will gather a basket of pale fruit. You will watch a copper pot simmer. You will fold linen cloth over a tray of cooling candy. And then, gently, you will let the world go. There is no test at the end of this. There's no place you must arrive. If you fall asleep before we reach the orchard, that is well. If you fall asleep in the middle of a sentence, that too is well. The story does not need you to follow it. It only offers itself to you, the way amber light offers itself to a pale fruit, simply because that is what amber light does. So, let your eyes close if they're not already closed. Let the bed hold you. Let the room hold the bed. Let the night hold the room. And let us begin. You are stepping through a small round door. The door is set low in a curved wall, and you must duck your head just a little to pass through. The wall is made of some dark, polished stone, and the door itself is a soft, pale wood, the kind of wood that has been touched by many hands for many years, and is smoother now than when it was first cut. The handle is warm. You notice this as your fingers wrap around it. Not hot, only warm, the way a stone might be warm after a long afternoon of mild sun. The door swings inward with no sound at all. And then you are inside the comet. The first thing you notice is the light. It is amber and soft, and it does not come from any single place. It pools, instead, from panels set into the high curved ceiling. Panels that glow the color of honey held up to a window, the color of late afternoon seen through a glass of weak tea, the color of a candle flame remembered rather than seen. The light falls evenly. It does not glare. It does not flicker. It only rests on everything like a kind hand. The second thing you notice is the air. It is lukewarm against your cheeks. Not warm enough to make you sweat, not cool enough to make you shiver. It is the temperature of bath water that has been sitting a few minutes too long, comfortable and forgettable and easy. The air carries a smell, a sweet smell, like a pear that has been split open and left on a windowsill. And under that, fainter, the smell of warm sugar and salt and something almost like vanilla, drifting from somewhere deeper in. The third thing you notice is the gravity. It is very gentle here. Your feet meet the ground, but they meet it lightly. When you take a step, you rise a little, and then you settle, and then you take another. It is something like walking in a swimming pool, but without the water. It is something like walking in a dream, but you are not dreaming. Your boots, soft boots, you notice now, made of some quiet, felted material, make almost no sound on the packed loam beneath you. Only a soft thud. A soft, slow thud. Step, and step, and step. You are standing at the edge of an orchard. The trees are small. They are not tall, the way trees on a planet might be tall. They are about the height of a person, and their branches spread wide, and their leaves are a soft silver green that catches the amber light and holds it. The trees grow in neat rows, in long, curving terraces that follow the inner curve of the comet's hollow. If you look up, slowly, gently, without straining your neck, you can see the orchard continuing above you on the other side of the hollow, the trees hanging downward as easily as the trees beneath your feet stand upward. The gravity is so light here that there is no real up and no real down, only inside and outside. And you are inside. You are inside, and you are welcome. Between the rows of trees, narrow paths of packed loam wind softly. The loam is dark and slightly damp, and where the amber light falls upon it, it gleams. Tiny channels run alongside the paths. Irrigation channels, you understand, though no one has told you so. And from somewhere high among the branches, a fine mist drifts down. It is the orchard's water sighing through the trees. The mist gathers on the silver leaves. It gathers on the pale fruit. It gathers on your hair in the lightest possible way, and the air becomes a little cooler near the trees and a little sweeter. You can hear the mist. It is not a loud sound. It is a sighing, a long, slow sighing, like the breath of something very large and very gentle and very asleep. Beneath that sighing, you can hear something else, a deep, low hum. It is the comet itself. Far below your feet, deep in the core, something hums to keep the orchard warm and the lights amber and the air lukewarm against your cheeks. The hum is so low that you feel it more than hear it. It is in your chest, almost. It is in the small bones of your wrists. It is a sound you could fall asleep inside of, the way a child falls asleep inside a lullaby. Step, and step. You are walking now, slowly, into the first row of trees. The pale fruit hangs from the branches in pairs and threes. Some are pears, sugar-pears, you understand somehow, and they are the color of cream, with the faintest blush of gold along one side. Some are plums, salt-plums, and they are a smoky lavender, dusted with a fine bloom that comes off on your fingertips when you brush them. The fruit is not large. Each one would fit easily in the palm of your hand. They hang at just the right height for picking, and they sway very slightly in the drifting mist. Up ahead, between two rows, you see the confectioner. The confectioner is standing very still, with a wide, flat basket resting against one hip. You cannot quite tell their age, and it does not matter. Their clothing is simple. Soft, loose trousers, a long apron the color of unbleached linen, sleeves rolled neatly to the elbow. Their hair is pulled back, and there's a small wooden pin holding it. They are looking at a pear. They are not picking it. They are only looking at it, the way you might look at a small bird that has settled on a windowsill, judging whether it is yet time to disturb it. After a moment, the confectioner reaches up. Their fingers close around the pear with great care. They do not pull. They cradle, and they wait. And the pear, in its own small time, decides to come away from the branch. It settles into their hand. They turn it once, slowly, in the amber light, and then they place it in the basket, where it joins 3 or 4 of its companions, each resting on a folded square of linen. The confectioner notices you. They do not startle. They look at you, and they smile, and they nod once, gently. There are no words. There do not need to be. They tilt their head toward the next tree, as if to say, "Come, walk with me, gather what is ripe," and you understand. You drift forward. In the low gravity, drifting is the only word for it. You step, and you float a little, and you settle, and you step again. The packed loam is soft under your soft boots. The mist is cool on your face. The hum is low under everything. You join the confectioner beside the next tree, and you wait, and you breathe, and you let your eyes rest on the pale fruit. There is one pear that seems ready. You can tell somehow, though you have never picked a sugar-pear before. It is a little fuller than the others, and the blush along its side is a little deeper. And when you bring your face close to it, it exhales. That is the only word, a faint sweetness, as if the pear were breathing its readiness out into the lukewarm air. You reach up, you cradle the pear, you wait, and the pear lets go. It settles into your hand, light, lighter than you expected. The skin is cool and very smooth and slightly damp from the mist. You turn it slowly in the amber light. You see the small dimple at the top where the stem has parted. You see the gentle curve of its body. You see the soft gold blush along its cheek. You bring it close to your face once more, and it breathes its sweetness at you. And you smile, because there is nothing else to do. You place the pear in the confectioner's basket on a fresh square of linen. The confectioner nods. They move to the next tree. You follow. Time does not pass in the orchard the way it passes elsewhere. There are no clocks here. There is no schedule. There's only this tree, and the next tree, and the slow drift of mist, and the slow drift of your soft boots on the packed loam, and the slow gathering of the basket. Step, and pause beside a tree, and reach, and cradle, and wait. And the fruit, when it is ready, lets go. You walk the length of one terrace this way, then you walk the length of another. The orchard curves gently around you. The amber light pools on the pale fruit, and the pale fruit shines softly, like small lamps grown on quiet branches. Somewhere, far above your head, the mist sighs through a row of trees you cannot quite see. Somewhere, far below your feet, the comet hums. You pass an old bench, set into a niche between 2 trees. The bench is made of the same pale wood as the door you came through. Its seat is worn smooth in 2 soft hollows, where the confectioner, or someone like the confectioner, long ago, has sat many times. Beside the bench, a small wooden cup rests upside down on a flat stone, as if waiting to be turned over and filled. You do not stop. You only notice it, and you carry the noticing with you, the way you might carry a small, warm coin in your pocket. The basket is filling. You can see it filling. Cream-colored pears, smoky lavender plums, each one nested on its own fold of linen. The confectioner moves with you, or just ahead of you, and sometimes they pause at a tree and look up, and then move on, leaving the fruit where it grows, because it is not yet ready. You understand this too. You begin to feel it in your own hands, this knowing, which fruit will let go and which will wait. You do not need to think about it. You only need to reach and cradle and wait. After a long while, a long, slow, drifting while, the basket is full. Not heaped, not crowded, only full, in the way a small lake is full when it has gathered the day's quiet rain. The confectioner looks at the basket and looks at you and smiles and nods. They tilt their head now toward a soft, warm glow at the far end of the terrace. The kitchen. You follow them along the curving path. The trees thin here near the kitchen. The amber panels overhead grow a little brighter, and the air grows a little warmer, and the smell of vanilla and salt and slow sugar grows a little stronger. The packed loam gives way to a floor of pale stone, smooth, slightly worn, the color of bone left long in soft water. Your soft boots make a different sound on the stone, not a thud, but a hush. A long, slow hush. And then you are at the kitchen door. It is another small, round door, like the first, but this one stands open. Beyond it, you can see a warm, coppery glow. You can see the gleam of polished pots hanging from a low rack. You can see a long wooden table, scrubbed pale by years of patient scrubbing. You can see a deep stone sink and a low stove with a single small flame burning beneath a kettle, and shelves lined with linen, and a window, though it is not a window to the outside, but a window to the orchard, looking back the way you came. You step through. The kitchen is small and warm and complete. The walls are lined with sheets of beaten copper that have been polished to a soft glow, not a glare. They catch the amber light and turn it richer, deeper, more like the inside of a sleeping animal than like the surface of the sun. The copper makes the whole room feel cradled. You feel cradled in it, too. The confectioner sets the basket on the long wooden table. They take down a clean apron from a hook on the wall and hand it to you. You loop it over your head. You tie it behind your back, simply, with a single soft bow. The apron smells faintly of laundry, clean cotton, dried in lukewarm air, folded and put away. You roll your sleeves to your elbows, the way the confectioner has done. You wash your hands at the deep stone sink. The water is warm. It runs over your fingers in a slow, steady stream, and you watch it, and you let the warmth seep into the small bones of your wrists. You dry your hands on a soft linen towel that hangs from a hook beside the sink. The towel is the color of cream. It is worn very soft. It has been used many times. It will be used many times more. The confectioner has begun to sort the fruit. They lift each pear from the basket with both hands, as if it were a small living thing, and they place it on the wooden table. They line the pears in one slow row, and the plums in another. When the basket is empty, they fold the linen squares one by one and stack them neatly to one side, ready for next time. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is wasted. They look at you, and they tilt their head toward the pears. You understand. You take up a small wooden knife from the rack, and you begin to peel. The knife is light. The blade is dull, in the way that a wooden blade is always dull, but it parts the soft skin of the sugar pear easily, in long, curling ribbons that fall onto the table in slow loops. The peel is the palest gold. It smells, when it falls, of summer afternoons remembered from far away. You peel one pear, then another. The flesh beneath the skin is the color of new ivory, and it is very soft. And when you slice it, long, slow slices, the wooden knife sinking gently through, a clear, sweet juice gathers on the wood. You can smell the juice. It is the sugar breath of the pear, set free at last. You can almost taste it without tasting. The confectioner, meanwhile, has set a copper pot on the low stove. The pot is broad and shallow, with a long, curved handle wrapped in cloth. They have ladled water into it from the stone sink and added a slow stream of pale sugar from a jar with a wooden lid. They stir with a long wooden spoon until the sugar is gone, and then they keep stirring, because the stirring itself is part of how the syrup learns its own shape. The spoon makes a small, soft clicking against the inside of the copper pot. Click and click. A patient sound. A sound like a small clock that does not care what time it is. The syrup begins, very slowly, to bubble. At first, it is only a faint trembling at the surface. Then the trembling becomes small, slow bubbles, gathering at the edges of the pot. Then the bubbles drift inward and meet and rise and fall, and the syrup begins to smell. Oh, it begins to smell of warm sugar, and of something like vanilla, and of something like the faintest pinch of salt, and of the pale gold peel that has been added to the water, curling there at the bottom of the pot. You bring your sliced pears to the confectioner. They nod. They take the slices, one at a time, between two long wooden tongs, and they lower them into the slow, simmering syrup. The slices darken, only a little. They grow translucent at the edges. They gleam in the copper-lit liquid like small windows opening onto golden afternoons. You watch them. You can watch them for as long as you like. There is no hurry. The syrup will not boil over. The pears will not overcook. The confectioner is here, and the confectioner knows. You only watch. Behind you, through the open kitchen door, the orchard hums and sighs. The mist drifts among the trees. The amber light pools on the pale fruit that has not yet been gathered, and that will not need to be gathered tonight, because there is always tomorrow. You hear the soft, far-off thud of nothing in particular. Perhaps a pear, somewhere in the orchard, has chosen its own time to let go, and has settled gently onto the packed loam. No one will mind. In the morning, or in the long, slow hour that the comet calls morning, someone will find it, and it will be welcome. The confectioner takes the slices out of the syrup, one by one, with the long wooden tongs. They lay them on a wide, flat tray that has been lined with a sheet of soft white linen. The slices rest there, gleaming, the syrup cooling on them, the linen drinking up the smallest pearls of sweetness at their edges. When the tray is full, the confectioner lifts it carefully in the low gravity and carries it to a shelf set into the copper wall. They slide the tray onto the shelf. They fold a second sheet of linen over the top, very gently, smoothing it with the flat of their hand. And then they turn back to the pot, and they begin again. You help. You peel more pears. You bring slices to the syrup. You lay them on linen. You fold linen over them. You slide trays onto shelves. Each tray, when it is finished, becomes one more soft, pale rectangle in the wall, a row of cooling candies, growing slowly, patiently, with no end and no beginning. After a while, a long, soft, drifting while, the confectioner brings out the salt-plums. These are different. The skin is left on, because the skin is part of the candy. Each plum is sliced in half, and the small, smooth pit is lifted out with the tip of the wooden knife and set aside in a small clay bowl. The bowl fills slowly. The pits will be planted, the confectioner tells you, though they do not speak. You only know it, the way you know the temperature of a room as soon as you walk into it. The pits will be planted, and one day, a long time from now, there will be new trees. The plum halves go into a second copper pot with a different syrup, darker, this one, and richer, and with a few flakes of pale salt sprinkled over the top. The salt does not make the candy salty. It only makes the sweetness deeper, the way a low note makes a high note more beautiful. The confectioner stirs this pot, too, with a wooden spoon. Click, and click, and click. The salt dissolves into the syrup. The plums grow soft. The kitchen fills with another smell, layered over the first, a warm, dark, almost smoky sweetness, like a fire long burned down. You are warm now, comfortably warm. The apron is loose on your body. The sleeves are rolled to your elbows. Your soft boots stand quietly on the pale stone floor. Your hands smell of pear and of sugar, and faintly of the linen towel. Your hair carries the faintest dampness of the mist that drifted in from the orchard while you walked the rows. Your cheeks are flushed, just a little, from the slow warmth of the copper pots. You feel, and there's no other word for it, content. The confectioner pauses at the stove. They lower the small flame beneath the second pot, so that the syrup only just trembles, only just murmurs to itself. They wipe their hands on a corner of their apron. They turn to a low cupboard set into the copper wall, and they take out a small kettle, and they fill it at the stone sink, and they set it on a second small flame. You realize, only now, that they are making tea. The kettle takes a long time to warm. In low gravity, water heats more slowly, and besides, there is no reason to hurry. The confectioner takes down 2 cups from a wooden shelf. The cups are simple, round, glazed in a soft cream color, with no handles. They take down a small clay jar, and from it, they spoon a measure of pale dried leaves into a small linen pouch. The pouch is tied with a length of twine. They place the pouch in a teapot that matches the cups, and they wait. You wait with them. You stand at the wooden table, and you let your hands rest on its scrubbed pale surface, and you breathe. The smell of the kitchen fills you. Sugar, vanilla, salt, pear, plum, copper, linen. The faintest trace of the orchard mist still clinging to your hair. The kettle begins, very slowly, to whisper. Then, after a long while, it begins, very slowly, to sing. A small, soft, single note, climbing patiently up the scale. The confectioner lifts the kettle from the flame just before its singing can grow strong. They pour the water over the linen pouch in the teapot. Steam rises in a long, slow curl, and the smell of the tea joins all the other smells in the kitchen. It is a quiet smell, herbal and grassy, and a little floral, like a meadow in the soft hour before evening. The confectioner sets the lid on the teapot. They turn the small hourglass that sits on the shelf beside the cups. The pale sand begins to fall. While the tea steeps, the confectioner returns to the trays. You join them. Together, you check each tray, lifting the linen cloth just a corner, very gently, to see whether the candy beneath has cooled enough to be moved. Some trays are still warm. You let them rest. Some trays are cool. These you slide from their shelves and carry to a longer table at the back of the kitchen, where the candies are arranged, one by one, on fresh sheets of linen, ready for the small wooden boxes that will hold them. The candies are beautiful. The pear slices have turned the color of late honey, with edges of soft amber. They are not sticky. They are only soft and translucent and faintly glistening, as if they had been polished by the slow attention of the syrup. The plum halves are deeper, a dark, winey purple, with a fine dust of pale salt still clinging to their skins. When you lift one, it bends gently between your fingers, but it does not tear. It is exactly as it should be. You arrange them in rows. You do not need to count them. You only need to place them evenly, with a small space between each one, so that the air can move between them, and they can finish their cooling at their own slow pace. The linen is smooth under your fingertips. The candies settle into their places. The shelves above grow lighter as the trays come down. The table below grows fuller. The kitchen breathes slowly around you. The hourglass empties. The confectioner notices, and they lift the pouch from the teapot, and they set it aside on a small dish to rest. They pour the tea into the 2 cream-colored cups. The tea is the color of pale gold, with the faintest hint of green at its edges. Steam curls upward from each cup. The confectioner hands you one. The cup is warm against your palms. You hold it with both hands, and you bring it close to your face, and you breathe in the soft, grassy smell, and you feel the warmth of the steam against your cheeks. You do not drink yet. You only hold the cup. You look around the kitchen. You see the long wooden table. You see the rows of finished candies. You see the trays on their shelves with their patient linen covers. You see the copper pots resting now, their syrups cooling, their spoons set neatly across their rims. You see the small flame beneath the stove, lowered now to its softest glow. You see the window that looks out into the orchard, where the amber light pools on the pale fruit, and the mist drifts, and the trees stand quietly in their long, curving rows. You take a small, slow sip of the tea. It is the right temperature. Not hot, not warm. Exactly the temperature of bath water that has been waiting just for you. The taste is gentle. There is a sweetness in it, though no sugar has been added. There is a softness in it, like the inside of a folded blanket. You feel the warmth move down through your chest and settle, low and easy, beneath your ribs. The confectioner sips their own tea. They lean very lightly against the wooden table. They look at the rows of candies. They look at the open door to the orchard. They look at you. They smile, the same small, soft smile they offered when you first met. No words pass between you. None are needed. You drink your tea slowly. Each sip is small. Each sip is enough. You let your eyes rest on whatever they wish to rest on. Sometimes the copper wall, glowing softly. Sometimes the linen-covered trays. Sometimes the small flame on the stove. Sometimes the steam curling from your own cup. Sometimes the orchard beyond the door, with its slow, drifting mist. When the cup is empty, you set it down on the wooden table. The confectioner sets theirs down beside it. They tilt their head gently toward the orchard door. They wish to walk once more before the shift is finished. You understand. You follow. You step out of the kitchen, back onto the packed loam path. The amber light meets you again. The mist meets you again. The low hum of the comet meets you again, deep beneath your feet. You are warmer now than when you came in. Your apron is still tied at your waist. Your sleeves are still rolled. Your boots make their soft thud on the loam, step and step and step. And you drift along beside the confectioner between the rows of trees. The orchard is unchanged. It is always unchanged and always new. The pears still hang in their pale clusters. The plums still gather their smoky bloom. The leaves still hold the amber light. The mist still sighs from somewhere above. Nothing has been hurried. Nothing has been forced. Nothing has been lost. You walk a long, slow loop around the inside of the comet. You pass the bench in its small niche. You pass the upturned wooden cup on its flat stone. You pass a place where a small wooden ladder leans against a tree, and where, you understand, a pear was reached for just yesterday by the confectioner standing on the third rung. You pass a place where the loam is dark with mist, and the light pools especially deep. You pass a place where a single salt plum has dropped onto the path, and the confectioner stops and bends and lifts it gently and tucks it into the wide pocket of their apron, not lost, only late. You walk and you walk. The orchard curves around you. The amber light pools on the pale fruit again and again in every direction. The hum of the comet is low and steady. The mist is cool. The air is lukewarm. Your soft boots make their soft thud. After a long, drifting while, you find yourselves once more at the kitchen door. The confectioner pauses there. They look at you. They lift the salt plum from their apron pocket, and they set it carefully on the small, flat stone beside the bench at the kitchen door, where it will be safe until tomorrow. They nod. They lay one hand very lightly over their heart, and they tilt their head toward you. It is a small gesture. It is a kind one. You return it. You lay one hand very lightly over your own heart. You tilt your head just so. No words. No need. The shift is over. Not finished. There is no finishing in a place where there is always tomorrow, but ended for tonight. The candies will rest in their trays. The syrups will cool in their pots. The fruit will ripen at its own slow pace. The mist will drift. The hum will continue. The amber light will pool on the pale fruit, whether anyone is watching or not. The confectioner steps back into the kitchen. You see them through the door, lowering the small flame beneath the stove to its lowest glow. You see them folding a final linen cloth over the last cooling tray. You see them wiping the wooden table with a soft, damp cloth. You see them washing the 2 cream-colored cups at the stone sink and setting them upside down on the wooden rack to dry. Each motion is slow. Each motion is complete. Each motion is its own quiet candle, lit and then gently put out. There is a small room, you understand, just beyond the kitchen. A room for resting. You do not need to see it clearly. You only need to know it is there. A small bed, low to the floor. A folded blanket of pale wool. A linen pillow, plumped and smoothed. A single shaded lamp that throws the same amber light, only smaller, softer, gentler. A wooden stool beside the bed, with a cup of water already poured, in case it is wanted. A small round window that looks out, again, into the orchard. You drift toward this room in your soft boots, on the pale stone floor. You untie the apron at your waist. You loop it back onto its hook. You let your sleeves down. You sit on the edge of the small, low bed. You take off your soft boots, slowly, one and then the other, and you set them neatly beside the bed. Your feet rest on a small, soft rug of woven linen. The rug is warm. The floor beneath the rug is warm. The whole Comet, you remember now, is warm, all the way down to its slow, humming core. You lie down. The bed is soft and firm enough. The pillow is just the right height. The blanket of pale wool is light over your body and warm, and it smells faintly of the same clean laundry as the apron, and of the same faint sweetness as the orchard. You let your head settle. You let your shoulders soften. You let your hands rest, palms up or palms down, whichever they prefer. The lamp beside the bed glows softly. The amber light pools on your blanket. The amber light pools on your fingertips. The amber light pools on the small round window, where, beyond, the orchard stands quietly in its slow turning. You can hear the mist sighing through the trees. You can hear the deep, low hum of the Comet. You can hear, faintly, the kitchen settling. A copper pot cooling with a small, slow tick. A linen cloth settling onto a tray. A wooden spoon resting against the rim of a bowl. All of it far away now. All of it soft. Your breathing is slow. Slow and even. In and out. In and out. You do not need to make it deeper. You do not need to make it anything. It is breathing itself now, the way the mist drifts itself through the orchard, the way the syrup simmers itself in the copper pot, the way the Comet hums itself through the dark. The amber light begins, very slowly, to dim. Not because anyone has dimmed it, but because the Comet is turning gently, and the panels that face outward are slipping into their resting glow. The kitchen, beyond your door, is quieter now. The confectioner has gone to their own small bed, in their own small room, and lain down, and let their own shoulders soften, and close their own eyes. The orchard is dimming. The pale fruit shines a little less. The silver leaves grow soft and shadowed. The mist still sighs, but more quietly. The hum is still there, beneath everything, holding everything. You are warm. You are held. You are exactly where you should be. Nothing tonight needs finishing. Nothing tonight needs remembering. The candies will be there tomorrow. The pears will be there tomorrow. The plums will be there tomorrow. The orchard will be there. The kitchen will be there. The confectioner will be there. The amber light will pool. The mist will drift. The hum will hum. You can rest. You can let go. Let your eyes close, if they have not already closed. Let your jaw soften. Let your shoulders sink. Let your hands forget themselves. Let your feet forget themselves. Let your breathing breathe itself. The light is dimming. The orchard is quiet. The kitchen is quiet. The Comet hums. The Comet hums. The Comet hums. Pale fruit. Amber light. Warm copper. Soft linen. Slow syrup. Slow breath. Slow hum. You drift. You drift among the trees. The trees stand quietly. The mist drifts past your cheek. Your soft boots are not even on your feet anymore. You only drift. You drift past the bench. You drift past the ladder. You drift past the kitchen door. The kitchen is dim and warm. A single small flame, very low. A single cup drying on a rack. A single linen cloth folded and put away. The hum. The hum. The hum. You're safe. You're warm. You're held. There's no hurry. There's no need. There's only this: amber light, sugar breath, linen, mist, hum. Rest now. Rest. Rest. The orchard turns slowly through the dark. The candies cool on their linen shelves. The confectioner sleeps. And so do you. So do you. Good night. Good night. Good night. The orchard turns. The comet hums. The mist drifts. You are still here, in the soft place between waking and sleeping. You do not need to choose. You do not need to decide. You only need to be carried, the way a leaf is carried on slow water. The water is dark and quiet. The leaf is soft and warm. You are the leaf. You are the water. You are the slow, slow turning of the orchard through the long, blue dark. Somewhere, far below your drifting, the kitchen sits with its low flame. The copper pots cool on their hooks. The wooden spoon rests in its earthen jar. The linen cloth waits, folded for morning. There will be a morning. There will be, but not yet. Not for a long, long time. For now, there is only the dark, and the amber light dimming, and the hum of the comet that is not quite a sound, and not quite a feeling. It is something gentler than either. It is the orchard breathing. It is the trees agreeing to sleep. You agree too. You agree to sleep. Your body has already begun. Your shoulders have already begun. Your hands have already begun. Your jaw has already begun. Only the last small thread of your attention remains, drifting like mist along the orchard path. And it too is loosening, loosening, letting go. Let it go. Let it go. The pears will be there tomorrow. The plums will be there tomorrow. The amber light will return. The kettle will warm again. The confectioner will open the kitchen door, and the sugar breath will rise once more into the cool morning air. But not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Now there is only the slow turning. Now there is only the hum. Now there's only the warmth at the small of your back and the softness behind your eyes. You drift further. You drift past the edge of the orchard, where the low stone wall keeps its lichen and its moss. You drift past the gate that does not need to be closed. You drift past the lantern that is dimmed to a single coal-colored ember. You drift, and the drifting itself is what carries you. There is no map. There is no path. There is no destination. There is only this slow and patient floating, like a small boat on a quiet river, like a feather on a quiet pond, like a breath on a quiet evening. You are the small boat. You are the feather. You are the breath. Beneath you, somewhere, the orchard floor is dark and soft. The grasses lean a little to the east, where the breeze has tipped them. The fallen blossoms have gathered in small, pale drifts at the bases of the trees. The earth is cool and patient. The earth has done this many times before, this long, quiet turning. The earth does not mind. The earth does not hurry. You do not hurry. Above you, somewhere, the comet hangs in its high blue dark. Its tail is a long, pale ribbon. Its body is a soft, round glow. It hums, and the hum is the hum of the orchard, and the hum of the kitchen, and the hum of your own quiet breathing, all braided into one slow sound. You are part of the braid. You always were. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to remember. There's nothing to plan. There's only the breath in, and the breath out, and the warm pillow beneath your head, and the soft blanket over your shoulders. The orchard knows how to hold you. The kitchen knows how to hold you. The comet knows how to hold you. You do not need to hold anything. Let your hands rest. Let your arms rest. Let your chest rest. Let your belly rest. Let your hips rest. Let your knees rest. Let your ankles rest. Let your feet rest. Let all of it rest. Let your eyes rest behind their soft lids. Let your forehead rest. Let your temples rest. Let the small space between your eyebrows rest. Let your cheeks rest. Let your lips rest, just barely touching, just barely apart. Let your tongue rest. Let your throat rest. Let the inside of your mind rest. The orchard goes on turning. The candies go on cooling. The confectioner goes on sleeping. And so do you. The amber light is almost gone now. The lantern is only a memory of a coal. The mist has thickened, soft as wool, and it has settled over the rows of trees like a quiet blanket. The trees do not mind. The trees welcome it. The trees have been waiting for the mist all evening. You have been waiting too. Without knowing it, you have been waiting all day, all week, all season. You have been waiting for this exact softness, this exact stillness, this exact permission to set everything down. Set it down. Set down the small, bright thoughts that flicker at the edges. Set them gently on the kitchen counter, beside the cooling copper pot. They will be safe there. The confectioner will tend to them in the morning, if they still matter then. Most of them will not. Most of them will have dissolved like sugar in warm water, and that is fine. That is exactly fine. Set down the small worries. Lay them in the basket beside the door, the basket lined with linen, the basket the confectioner uses for windfall fruit. The worries are windfall too. They will be gathered and sorted, and most of them will be quietly composted, and a few of them will become something sweet, and you will not have to do any of that work. The orchard will do it for you. Set down whatever is left. Set it down anywhere, on the bench, on the moss, on the low stone wall. It does not matter where. The orchard will hold it. The orchard has room. Now your hands are empty. Now your arms are empty. Now your chest is empty in the good way, the open way, the soft and breathing way. You drift again. You drift back along the orchard path, though there is no path now, only the soft suggestion of one beneath the mist. You drift past the trees you remember, the pear tree with the low bough, the plum tree with the dark trunk, the small quince at the corner with its yellow fruit you did not pick. They are all still there. They will all still be there. You drift past the bench where you sat earlier in the amber light. The bench is empty now. The bench is patient. The bench will hold someone else, some other evening, some other slow visitor, and that is good. The bench is glad to be useful. The bench is glad to be still. You drift past the ladder, leaned against the apple tree. The ladder is wooden and worn smooth by many hands. The ladder dreams its own quiet ladder dreams. You do not disturb it. You drift past the kitchen door. The door is closed, but not latched. The low flame inside is steady. The copper pots gleam very faintly in the ember light. The linen cloths are folded in their drawer. The candies, in their long, pale rows, cool slowly on their wooden trays. The sugar breath has settled. The kitchen smells of pear and of plum and of warm wood and of the faint, clean scent of beeswax from the candle that burned down hours ago. You breathe it in one last time, and then you drift on, out past the kitchen, past the small herb garden where the lavender grows, past the round stones that mark the well. The well is deep and quiet. The well is full of cool, dark water and the reflection of stars. You do not look down into it. You only drift past, and the well hums its own small hum, and the hum joins the larger hum of the comet, and you go on. You drift toward the edge of the orchard. You drift toward the low stone wall. You drift over it, the way mist drifts over walls, the way breath drifts over the rim of a warm cup. Beyond the wall, the land slopes gently down into a meadow. The meadow is dark and soft. The grasses are tall and bent with dew. A single small lantern hangs from a post at the far edge, and it is the color of a low coal, and it does not flicker. It only glows. You drift toward the lantern, slowly, without effort. The meadow welcomes you. The grasses part softly around your drifting. You leave no path behind. When you reach the lantern, it dims. It does not go out. It only dims until it is the color of a sleeping ember. And you understand, in the soft, wordless way you understand things now, that this is the lantern of sleep itself. It has been waiting for you. It will keep watch. You may rest here. You may rest. The grass beneath you is soft as wool. The mist around you is warm as breath. The lantern above you is the color of a held promise. The comet, high and far, hums its long, slow hum. You lie down, or you do not lie down, because you are already lying down in your own warm bed, with your own warm blanket, with your own warm pillow beneath your head. The two places are the same place. The meadow and the bed are the same. The orchard and the room are the same. The comet and your own quiet breath are the same. There is no difference. There never was. You let yourself sink. You let yourself sink into the meadow, into the bed, into the slow turning dark. You sink the way a small, smooth stone sinks through still water, gently, without struggle, finding its quiet place on the soft floor below. You find your quiet place. It is warm. It is dim. It is held. The hum continues. The hum is your companion now. The hum will stay with you through the night. You do not need to listen to it. You only need to let it be there, the way the orchard lets the mist be there, the way the kitchen lets the low flame be there, the way the sky lets the comet be there. Things are allowed to be there. You are allowed to be there. You are allowed to rest. 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 The orchard turns. The candies cool. The confectioner sleeps. The comet hums. The lantern glows low. The meadow holds you. The bed holds you. The blanket holds you. The pillow holds you. You are held. You are held by many small kind things, by linen and by lantern, by copper and by candle, by moss and by mist, by pear and by plum, by the slow, patient breath of the orchard, in and out, in and out. Your own breath joins it, in and out, in and out, slower, slower. The amber light is gone now. Only the ember lantern remains, and even it is dimming, dimming, until it is only the memory of a glow, and that memory is enough. That memory will carry you through. The mist closes softly around you, not heavy, not cold, only soft, like the inside of a folded cloth, like the inside of a warm, cupped hand. You are inside that hand now. You are inside the soft, cupped hand of the night. Nothing will trouble you here. Nothing will ask anything of you here. You may sleep. You may sleep. You may sleep. And as you sleep, the orchard goes on with its own quiet work, very far away, very gentle. A single blossom drifts down from a high bough. A single drop of dew gathers on a leaf. A single moth crosses the dim kitchen window, and the confectioner does not stir. The world goes on without needing you. The world is glad to. The world has done this many nights before. You may let the world. You may let it. Let it. Let it. Let it. The hum softens. The hum softens. The hum softens. Until it is only a whisper. Until it is only a thread. Until it is only a feeling at the very edge of feeling. And then it is only sleep. Only sleep. Pale fruit. Amber light. Warm copper. Soft linen. Slow syrup. Slow breath. Slow hum. Pale. Amber. Warm. Soft. Slow. 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 The lantern is out. The kitchen is dark. The orchard is quiet. The meadow is still. The comet has drifted beyond the far hill. You are here. You are warm. You are held. You are sleeping. You are sleeping. You are sleeping. And the night keeps watch. And the night keeps watch. And the night keeps watch. Sleep now, traveler. Sleep, with the taste of pear still soft on your tongue. Sleep, with the warmth of the kitchen still soft in your shoulders. Sleep, with the hum of the comet still soft in your bones. Sleep, and let the orchard turn. Sleep, and let the candies cool. Sleep, and let the confectioner dream their own slow dreams in the small room above the kitchen, where a single window looks out at the dim blue dark. Sleep, and let the meadow hold you. Sleep, and let the bed hold you. Sleep, and let the blanket hold you. Sleep, and let yourself be held. You are allowed. You are allowed. You are allowed. Good night to the orchard. Good night to the kitchen. Good night to the copper pots and the wooden spoons and the linen cloths folded neatly in their drawer. Good night to the bench. Good night to the ladder. Good night to the well and the lavender and the round stones and the low wall. Good night to the meadow. Good night to the lantern. Good night to the comet. Good night to the mist. Good night to the pear tree and the plum tree and the small quince at the corner. Good night to the soft boots that are no longer on your feet. Good night to the warm cup that is no longer in your hands. Good night to the day that is no longer behind you. Good night to the morning that is not yet ahead. Only this. Only this. Only this. Soft. Warm. Held. 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 Sleep. 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 The orchard turns slowly through the dark. The candies cool on their linen shelves. The confectioner sleeps. The comet drifts on. The meadow rests. The lantern is out. And so are you. And so are you. And so are you. Good night. Good night. Good night.